Hey Boo Buddies and Happy New Year. Anya here doing some journaling and reflection for 2020 moving into 2021 and hoping it is going to be a better time, to say the least. I'm starting off with some brown craft paper. Again, it's just one of those paper bags that accumulates in the house. And I saw this somewhere on the internet during the year that was 2020 of doing a brown paper cutout pressed flower, and I really wanted to try that, so I decided to make a craft paper carnation, because if you remember from my 2021 setup, I'm doing the flowers and the carnation is January's flower, so I figured if you gotta pick a flower to try, let's pick January's flower. And I'm just using some background paper, again just using what I have to try and give more of a scrapbooky pressed flower effect. And then I'm going to take my fine liner once I've got this pasted in and do the details to make it look more real and, well, sketchy, but give it more of that pressed flower appearance than just drawing it straight in my journal would have. And this gives a nice little layered effect that I'm really digging on. And then having the other craft paper in the background makes it pop. I ended up buying myself quite a few flowers during the year that it was 2020. I usually buy my own flowers. I don't usually receive them as gifts, and that's not a jibe at anyone. I know what I like, and when I want flowers and I see them, I like to have the freedom of going and buying them, and they cheer up my space and make me a little happier. And 2020 was definitely a year where I was trying to cheer up my space quite a bit and, give it some variety, because you're staring at the same space all the time. So a pressed flower really fit with my reflection time for what was 2020. One of the things I really enjoy about art journaling is, even if you have a prompt that you're going off of and you're just sitting down staring at a blank piece of paper, you have this anxiety to fill it with words and thoughts, but if you end up filling it with stationery and tape and decorative elements, it can really help loosen up and remove some of those anxieties. And it's journaling with more than words, because looking back at this flower, I remember things that happened that I was thinking about while I was making it, things that happened while I was pondering what I wasn't writing, and I found that style of reflection and journaling to be very liberating, where it doesn't have to be filling out a word count or filling in an assignment, but just expressing myself through whatever I already have in my creative space. And so I've really been enjoying this liberation, and that is why I'm also really going hard in 2021 to use more of the stationery that I have and use more stuff instead of trying to put it on myself of drawing and creating. And I'm not trying to insist other people do other things in their own space, but something that I am trying to do is take the pressure off myself to always come up with what needs to fill the page, and in other cases just using what I have. Oh my gosh, I got these black sticky notes, so much fun for gel pens. I found them at the dollar store, so oh my goodness, what a find, because normally they're like $8, and I got them for great, so that's fun. I also got in a collection of my Le Pen fine liners that I'm obsessed with right now. I found this brown one, and I had to add it to my collection to add that nice faded ink journaling feel vibe that I am going for. Brown ink has been really fun for me to journal with, and when you're just grabbing and writing down ideas, it's usually black or blue ink or whatever you have, and when you're trying to be more creative, you get into more of those fancy inks. But Oh my goodness, I love journaling and writing down my thoughts in brown ink. I don't know why, it is so satisfying. So I'm using this first page to try and reflect on 2021 without, repeating all the complaints that we've all had. And this was a hard year for everyone. And when I last left the house to go do errands and stuff that couldn't be done at home, everyone around me was very grumpy. And I know it was during the holidays and everyone's kind of grumpy anyway because they're trying to get things done and get things done a certain way, and cold weather doesn't always help. But it's important to remember that we all had a bad year. We're all having this bad time, and this is all happening to all of us, some of us to different degrees. But it's not the person on the street's fault that this is happening. This isn't about assigning blame so much as trying to be understanding that we're all having a bad day. So having a bad day at someone doesn't help. And I've been needing to remember that of, pushing shopping cart trolleys at other people and being upset that they're not doing it the way that I want them to be doing it. That doesn't help, and they're having a bad year too. So that's kind of what I'm trying to keep in mind moving forward. I decided to use my black piece of paper to list out some music that I discovered during the lockdown. And this isn't like a playlist of, oh, you should see my new finds, so much as pointing out to myself that I found music that really made me feel better. And I probably wouldn't have listened to it otherwise. I wouldn't have stopped and been trapped in the house with nothing else to listen to if it hadn't have been the year that it was. So those are some of my reflections of 2020, and just trying to list off gratitudes that are beyond, oh, at least I didn't lose my job, oh, at least I'm doing okay, and but like actual gratitudes that I have in the craziness that is 2020. And hopefully that will put me in the right mindset as we move into 2021, and I can think about those subtle changes and subtle motivations that I want to keep at the forefront of my mind as this new year progresses. So I used the same craft paper that I did for my flower, but I did it a little in reverse and a little more freeform because this year is not yet solidified. We don't know what this year is yet. It could be just as bad. It could be going in the wrong direction, but hopefully it's going in a more positive direction and the world will get better. But we don't know, so I used some freeform shapes. And I also used my washi tape going vertical instead of horizontal to offset the look, but also tie in that these two reflection pages are tied together. So one of the major thoughts that I reflect on in this future spread is how the choices we make and the time we choose to spend. It really is the little things that add up very quickly. So if you're wanting some journal prompts for your own reflections for the coming year, some of the things that I've been thinking about is not just the choices, but the motivation behind the choices we make and how we choose to spend time, money, and just small acts of kindness. Because again, we all had a rough time. And what 2021 is going to be is up to us and all of our small choices. I also have been thinking about listing out the things that I did accomplish during this strange year, not in a sense of look at how productive I am, but in an acknowledgement of I did do things, and in some cases they might not seem like things to put on a resume or brag about in a Christmas letter, but they are things that I did, and and I learned how to do, and those are victories, and it's important to remember them for ourselves. And of course, our journaling time is more about talking to ourselves and not about sharing with other people what those lists involve. And you see that I don't actually do a whole lot of word filling up for 2021 because I'm still thinking and I'm still reflecting, and it got really personal, and so I do a lot more later than this video. But those are some of the things that have given me pause. And I wanted to use some stickers because I have these fun stickers and they seem to reflect what I'm feeling right now, which is a romantic sense of calm and moving into some self-care time. So I threw in this nice, lovely clock sticker that I had because year end and year beginning reflections are all about time. And then this fun cup of coffee. Finally, to bring the two concepts together and to really drive home this self-care thing, I found this cute cat sticker collection that I got from a stationery box a few months ago, and this cat summed it up for me. They are doing a small choice that is self-care that impacts grandly what is going on, and that is cleaning their butt, and that sums it up to me. I hope you are inspired with these prompts and crafting ideas in your own self-reflections and journaling experience. I hope that 2021 is better than 2020, and I hope to see you in my next video. Until next time, Boo Buddies.